uh, fine. Is a corporate governance code really says that there should be segregation? Is it that there should be segregation of duties? Is it right? Segregation of duties. When they have the segregation of duties, is it right? What happens? This is the major flaw. Is it right? This is the major flaw. That there should be a new, either you appoint a new executive director or a board chairman. Now, second, which of the following statement is correct? Is it right? Which of the following statement is correct with regard to composition of board of HGCC? Tell me, please.
The first one.
HGCC should appoint. See, what is the first? You see, what is the board composition? The board has a 5 executive and 2 non-executive directors. Is it right? Board is how many? 5 executive directors and 2 non-executive directors. Is it right? In order to have balance, what you have to do? You have to add 3 non-executive directors. Is it right? That should appoint 3 non-executive directors to the board. Should we appoint 2 of its executive? No, we cannot do. Should appoint 3 new executive directors? No. Is it? Should we reappoint 3 of the executive directors as no? Is it right? There should be a balance. Okay. Now, what is the next answer? Tell me. Your audit assistant does not feel that HGCC provide to internal controls is sufficiently robust to comply with corporate governance principles and has drawn up a list of recommendations. Which 2? Is that this is the difference which is going to happen? Is that they will not ask 1, they will ask you 2. Now, what they say? Robust to comply with corporate governance principles.
Third option.
Which one?
Third option.
Once HGCC has an audit committee and internal audit department, the head of the internal audit department should head to the audit committee. Fine. Okay. Next.
The last one.
The HGCC should not rely on the external audit to inform them of deficiency in external audit. HGCC should appoint an audit with at least 4 director, at least 4 as it is required for all listed. They are saying that HGCC must establish an internal audit department as is required for all listed companies. Is it right? HGCC must establish an audit committee as it is required. This is not as per CG principles. Is it right? This is not as per CG principles. Is it right? Once HGCC has an audit committee directors are very much interested. Is it right? Audit committee directors. It must establish an internal audit department. No, it is not as per the corporate governance principle. Should establish an audit with at least 4 directors. No. SEBI should not rely on the external audit to inform them on internal controls. Internal controls is a part of internal audit. Is it right? HGCC should not rely on external audit. We will not rely on external audit. External audit is only for the review of financial statements. Is it right? And the first 2 are not related. Is it right? should establish an audit committee with at least should establish an audit committee with at least 4 directors. No, it is not 4 directors, is it? As per the rule, there should be 3 directors, is it right? As per the rule, it is, that is as per the corporate governance code, is it right? As per corporate governance code, is it right? I will refer it. It is as per, we don't need that, is it right? As per corporate governance code, this is para number 24, is it right? We don't need 4 directors. We should have minimum 3 executive and 3 non-executive directors. And no, listed should, there is no hard and fast rule, is it right, that you should establish an internal audit department. Okay, in most of the companies they don't have internal audit department also, is it? They will outsource the internal audit for some other purpose. Okay, next, you are aware that the HGC, any doubt is that you just stop me, okay, please. You are aware the HGC is considered establishing an internal audit department. With which of the following activities should internal audit function not be involved? Okay, would not be involved. Which of the function, is it right? Monitoring of management performance. Tell me which answer?
The first one.
See, monitoring of management. With which of the following should the internal audit function not to be involved? Is it right? Not to be involved. Think again.
Second one.
Third option.
See, internal audit department will monitor management performance. Internal audit department will review the decision making process. Internal audit department will assess with respect to compliances. Internal audit department will not take responsibility. The responsibility lies with whom? The responsibility lies with management. Is it right? The responsibility lies with the management. Internal audit department role is monitor, review and assess the compliances. Fine. Other than that, internal audit department will never take the rest. That's not the responsibility of the internal audit department. Is it right? That is not the responsibility of the internal audit department. Is it okay? Is it clear?
Yes.
Next, if HGCC board decides to establish internal audit, then it will also need to decide whether it is employ members of staff directly or will outsource the department to the external firm. You have found a list in your study notes of the advantages of outsourcing as compared to the advantages of employing the staff directly. The list includes the following points. If you outsource, what happens? Greater availability of specialist industry skills as required. Is that you have found that the study these are the advantages of outsourcing. If you outsource it, you will get what? You will get specialist people. Flexibility regarding staff members in response to changing the circumstances as per the demand and supply. Okay, we want more work, we will employ more people. We have off season, on season, peak season, all those things. Is it right? Elimination of direct training. These are all advantages. Okay. The elimination of direct training, development of skills of human resources, strength of the entity. Is that these are all the advantages. For each consideration, indicate whether it relates to the employment of internal auditors by HGCC or it is the outsourcing of the department. Is it right? Means you for each consideration, it is whether it is related to the employment or it is going to be outsourced. Is it right? Means whether it is related to outsourcing or it is related. Greater availability of specialist industry skills are required. Where it is the internal or the employed is nothing but internal. Is that outsource is nothing but external. Now, greater availability of specialist industry skills are required. It is internal or external?
External.
External. It means when you outsource it, definitely you are going to get specialist people as such. Okay. Next, flexibility regarding staff members in response of changes circumstances. It is internal or external? Based on this, is it based on this? It is external. Is it right? Elimination of direct training cost. Elimination of direct training cost. It is internal or external? When you outsource it, is it right? When you outsource it, you will get what? You will get trained people. Is it right? You will get trained people, you will get specialist people. Is it right? You will get skilled people. You don't need training for them. Is it right? You don't need training for them. Automatically, if you employ internally, you have to give training for them. If you are getting from other sources, you don't need to give any training. Is it right? Development of skills increasing the human resource strengths of the entity. It is internal or external?
Internal.
Internal. If you employ people, you have to develop the skills of your human resources. Is it right? Fine. Are you clear about this? Yes.
In the exam, if one answer we have choose the wrong option, so the whole question will be wrong.
If it means that if they ask two, you are writing one is right, one is wrong. Like that.
No, in this, for example, in this exam, in this
in this
question, we
exam,
have 4 options.
in this exam, every option is 0.5.
Okay.
Is it right? Every option is 0.5. ACCA people are very bakhil people. You don't know. They will not give 1 mark also. Okay, they are giving like this. It means 0.5. If you have done 2 right, 2 wrong, you will get 1. 3 right, 1 wrong, 1.5. Okay. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes, clear.
Now. Yeah, a little bit. See, actually, this is nothing is there. All these questions are examination questions which they used to give for 10 marks. Now what they have done, they have removed that 10 marks section and they have made it multiple choice of 10 marks. That's all. All these are, every other question is from the question paper. Every other question is from the question paper. Is it? the following scenario relates to. Okay, what they are asking us, they are talking in terms of documentation. Is it just major keywords you will underline? Is it right? Is it just keywords you underline? They are talking in terms of what? Audit planning and documentation. Is it right? And they are talking in terms of what? In terms of what? Performance materiality. So that we can focus on these when you are reading the scenario. Is it right? What is the audit risk and what is which of the audit responses? Is it right? Least relevant. Is it right? They are talking in terms of what? ISA 520. Is it right? Just you have to, if you underline it, it will be easy. Which are summarize the key concerns relating to the extended credit terms and refusal of certain customers to pay. Fine. This is not that directly related. Which of the two procedures, is it right, are relevant responses to the risk of inventory from the computerized inventory system? Is it right? Some we have not done, not that much, but we have done not directly, but indirectly we have done a lot. Is it right? Indirectly we have done a lot. Now what it says, you see here, this is the beginning, is it right? You are an audit senior of Audit S Limited and your firm has recently appointed as the auditor to bigfour products, a large company which sells the television, DVD players. See, this when you are talking about why they give you this, is that why they will give you this? You should know the purpose is you should understand the entity. Is it right? You should understand the entity. What you should understand which company you are doing. Understand? Every question will have like this. The first paragraph talks about the understanding of the entity. Then you will focus. Yes, we are going to work out the questions related to electronic industry, something like that. Then they will talk about what? Then they will talk about the plan. Is it right? Then they are talking, see, very structurally divided. Is it right? You are planning to audit for the year ended and your audit manager had asked to produce a strategy document and the detailed audit plan, including the assessment of what? Assessment of materiality. In order to assist you in the audit planning, you have visited bigfour where you obtained the following information. Sales has increased during the year following a move to attract new customer by offering extended credit. The new credit arrangements allow customer 3 months credit rather than 1 month credit. See, this is where we are talking in terms of audit risk. Previously, they used to give how many months? 1 month credit. Is it right? Now what they have done? They have given 3 months credit. When you are talking about 3 months credit, definitely what will happen? It will boost the sales. Is it right? It will boost the sales as well as the bad debts will also increase. As a result of this change, you have calculated that the receivables collection payment has been increased, definitely. Is it right? When you are talking about the thing 3 months, is it right? The credit period is 3 months, the receivables turnover collection period will be definitely receivable collection period will definitely increases. Is it right? From 49 days to 49, just imagine, for 49 days to 127 days. It is a big risk, is it right? It's a big risk. bigfour installed a new computerized system, control system, which began operating on 1st June. Since the inventory control system records both inventory movements and current inventory quantities, Bridge is proposing to see the inventory quantities on the computer to value the inventory at the year end rather than counting the rather than counting. No, we cannot. Whenever you are talking about inventory count has to be done physically. It is one of the recommendations. Is that right? Physical count of inventory is mandatory. The production director informed that the last month, that in the last month also there have been reliability problems with the company products, which have resulted in some customers refusing to pay for the products. Definitely, you are increasing. This is the audit risk, is it right? This is the audit risk. As part of the planning process, you also undertake a risk assessment based on the information you have obtained to date. You have identified several audit risks exactly, which you feel your team will need to address. The first risk related to external credit terms. As simple as that. They are giving us the answers. Is it? The second, recent product reliability problem. It is also an audit risk. Is it right? A second audit risk related to the computerized inventory control system. They are relying on the computer data. They are not doing any physical. They are not doing any physical inspection. Is it right? Physical count. You are concerned about the data which is accurate. We are concerned about whether the data accurately transferred to the new system. Is it right? This is also an audit risk. Means what you are doing, you are converting from manually to you are come to the computerized one. Is it right? Definitely there is a risk related to that. Is it whether it is sufficiently reliable to determine the quantity of inventory for the financial statements. Fine. See, this is the various concerns they have mentioned. Is it? They are concerned. They have mentioned concerns with respect to the sales. They have mentioned concerns with respect to the receivables. Is it right? They are concerned with the inventory system. They are concerned with the transfer of data. See, this is a common, general, tailor-made questions. I don't know where you have done previously. If you have done previously, questions will never change. Is it? We don't have the, they don't have the scope also. Is it right? To change the questions. Very restricted things they will have. Now, what is happening? What they say, we should have, where we have to place this. Is it right? Whether we should place in the strategy or we have to place in the plan. Is it right? Now, what is the audit strategy? Any idea about the things? I will write here. What are the things you have to work in audit strategy? What are the things you have to work in audit plan? When you talk about the audit strategy, is it right? See, if you understand this before, automatically you will get the questions easily. Is it right? What audit strategy says? Audit strategy talks about the characteristics of engagement. Is it right? Characteristics of engagement. Is it right? Is it? They are talking about what audit strategy is about. They talk about reporting objectives. Is it? They are talking about that. Audit strategy talks about what? Timing and scope. Is it right? Timing and scope. And communication. Is it right? Timing, scope and communication. Is it? Fine? Yes. Is it timing, scope and communication? That's all. Whereas audit plan talks about the how we are coordinating. Is it right? Audit plan talks about the how we are coordinating, is it right? Coordinating between the team, is it right? Is it? We are talking how we are talking in terms of between the team. An audit plan talks about converting, is it right? Converting the strategy, converting strategy to execution, is it right? To execution, to how we can make it execution. 1 minute. Execution, how you can make it operational. Okay, now we have to think whether it is with respect to the strategy, or the strategy is long term, plan is short term. That's very simple, is it right? Now, availability of the staff data and staff, including internal audit, is it a strategy or it is a plan? Tell me.
Audit strategy.
Little bit loud.
Audit strategy.
See, when we are talking about availability, is it availability of clients' data and staff? It is nothing but it is in a long term. Is it right? It availability, whether it is there for the next 3 months, next 6 months, next 12 months, is it right? Maximum 12 months. Is it? If it is for a long term, automatically it will become in the strategy. If it is a operational, it will become in the plan. Okay. The allocation of responsibility for specific procedures to audit team members.
Plan. Audit plan.
It is a audit plan. It is a short term. It is a present. They are talking about what we can do it now. Is it right? What has to be done now? Is it? The audit procedures to be undertaken for each area of the financial statements. It is a strategy or it's a plan?
Plan.
It is, see, yes. For each area means, see, what to be undertaken means what? When to be undertaken means what you have to do it now. Is it right? What you have to do it now. Then it is going to be a audit plan. Any doubt, you ask me. The potential for using automated tools and techniques to gather evidence.
Audit strategy.
Pardon?
Audit strategy.
Audits. Why? The reason is when we say potential is we are talking in terms of future. We are not talking about right now. Is it? The wordings are very, very simple. Is it? If we say potential, it is with the future. Anything future is a long term. It is going to be in an audit strategy. Now, you have set the levels of materiality for financial statements as a whole. Is it right? Now, what happens? And now need to determine performance materiality. Which of the following statements of performance materiality is not true? I will explain you the options. You have to give me the right answer. Which of the following is not? Performance materiality is used to reduce the risk that the aggregate or uncorrected deducted statements exceeds materiality for the financial statements as a whole to a acceptable level.
It is a correct answer.
It is a correct answer. Because performance material is used to reduce the risk. Is it right? Means it is a benchmark. Is it right? And it exceeds materiality in as a whole to an acceptable level. Means performance materiality The overall materiality and performance. Performance materiality is specific. Okay. Next. Performance materiality.
Sir,
Yes.
but the question is not true. Which of the following statement is not true?
Fine. Okay. I will agree with you. Is it right? When it is not true, whichever is not true, I will put like this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This is true. Okay. This is true. Arey. Is it right? This is true. Fine. Okay. Performance material refers to the amount set by the auditor at a higher than the material level for particular classes of transactions, account balances or disclosures. Means he is setting a higher than the materiality level, where the materiality level otherwise mean that such items are not tested.
False. Could be lower than the material.
Is it right?
Yes.
Pardon?
This one is false.
This one, see, okay, just I am putting one dot, okay, we'll see another. Once the materiality of the financial statements as a whole has been set and lower level of performance materiality is determined by the auditor using the professional judgment. Overall materiality will be more, performance materiality will be less. Is it right? Overall materiality will be more, performance materiality will be less, and it is done on what basis? Done on the professional judgment basis. It is a true. The performance materiality level is affected by the auditor's understanding of the entity and the nature and extent of misstatements identified in is affected by the auditor's understanding. Is it right? You are understanding the entity. It all depends on what? It depends on the understanding of the entity. It is true. Now, coming back to this, the performance metric refers the amount set by the auditor. This is not higher. This is lower. Is it right? This is not higher. This is lower. This is not. Uh, 150 analytical procedure, 520 analytical state that where analytical procedures identify fluctuations or relationships that are inconsistent with other relevant information or that differ from significantly from expected results. The auditor should investigate the reason for this. What they say that where analytical procedures identify fluctuations or relationships that are inconsistent with other relevant information or that differs significantly from the expected results. Fine. The auditor shall investigate the reason for this. Which of the following responds to the increase in receivable collection period? Tell me which is the answer. Tell me which is the answer. Analytical procedures. Is that analysis? Analytical procedures is nothing but comparing the present data with prior data. Analytical analysis, is it right? We are comparing all the time, is it right? Now, make inquiries of management to understand the likely reason. You are making understanding, you are not making any analysis. Is it right? Which of the following audit response to the increase in the receivables collection period of Bridgeford is least relevant?
The first one.
Which one?
The third option, I think it is higher relevant.
I am reading all the options. Perform further working capital ratios. See, least relevant means, is that least relevant means when we say, see, first understand, least relevant means, is it right? The minimum evidence you are getting from that. Is it right? Evidence, minimum evidence we are getting. Is it right? Minimum, reliability is very, very less. Is it right? Where the reliability is more, where the reliability is less. That's what it says. Where the reliability is less, that is the answer. Is that? Less reliability is the answer. Is that right? Make inquiries to management to understand the likely reason why the receivables collection period exceeds to the extended period. See, every time you have to make inquiries, you have to discuss. Is it right? Perform detailed substantive tested of the moment you are getting a detailed substantive testing. Is it right? Detailed test must to determine it is most relevant. You are doing, is that most relevant? Is that you are getting quoting a source. You are discussed with the management. It is right directly you are talking about. It is also most relevant. Is it most dependable? I can say. Okay. Perform a trend analysis on current year, period year to identify whether revenue is overstated as a result of fraud and error. Is it right? Fine. You are just performing an analysis. Is it right? Perform further. Further means in detail. If it is in detail, it is most relevant. What you are doing, you are making a comparison with the present and the prior data. This is also part of analytical procedure. Understand point? This is not, we cannot say that this is not a part of analytical procedure. This is a part of the substantive procedures. Okay, this is the part of the substantive procedures. But what we are concerned is, you are concerned about which is the minimum, least relevant. See, discuss with the management. It's see, if you ask me, is it right? We are doing this will be first. Is it right? This will be second. Is it right? Is it? Further, this will be the second. This will, the orders will increase. Is it right? This will be third, and this will be fourth. All are substantive procedures. Keep it in mind. All are analytical procedures. You understand? In this, don't say that it is not an analytical procedure. But which is the minimum importance we have to give? The answer is what? The answer is understand, Faizal?
Yes, clear.
Which of the following statements summarize your key concern regarding the risk related to extended credit terms and refusal of customers to pay? You guess your answer. Directors may have prepared bridge financial statements on a going concern basis. This is that the financial statements includes amount due from customers which are not valid. Key concern, is it right? See another one. See there. See here we will get really we get trapped. Okay, we get what is the key concern? Everyone will have a different understanding. Okay, everyone will have a different understanding. What is the concern you have to understand with respect to the extended credit terms? Extended credit terms. If you extend credit terms, what will happen? See what's happening. See the thing. If you are what is happening? If you are extending from 1 month to 3 months, is it right? 3 months. What happening? Receivables collection period is increasing. Is it right? Receivable collection period is increasing. You are having lot of returns. Is it right? You have lot of returns, and customers are unwilling to pay. Is it right? Unwilling to pay. Is it right? And refusal of certain customers to pay. If receives, focus on that the directors may have prepared financial statements on a going concern basis. This is not that is not applicable. When this is not applicable, this is not related to that. Is it right? The financial statement includes amount due from credit customers which are not valid debts. How it will they include due from customers? Definitely what will happen? You will have the debtors, you have the provision for doubtful debts. Is it provision for doubtful debt? If you are not including it, it means you have to treat it as a loss. Is it right? You have to treat it as a loss. That there are balances due from credit customer which are not included in that. There are balances due from credit customers which has not been included. No, we have to include it. Is it right? We have to include it, and subsequently we have to show it as a loss. Okay, non-recoverable. That the financial statement you have to include balances due from credit customers which are not recoverable. Is it right? We have to include it. This is what it says. We cannot say that we have. If we want to exclude it, then we have to pass the general entry for this. Is it right? The answer is which one? Answer is your voice is very I cannot not just little bit. The financial, see, which of the following statements summarizes your key concern regarding the risk? Is that regarding the risk related to credit terms? Is that what is the risk? The financial statements include balances, that is the risk, is it right? Due from credit customers which are not recoverable. It is a risk. We have to include the balances, first thing. But when you are including the balances, what will happen? See the thing. When you include the balances from credit customers, it is going to be called as a receivables. Fine. Now, when receivables are there, we have to not recoverable. In this, what will happen? See, is that which are not in this not recoverable also is there. Assume you have to receive how much? You have to receive 10,000. Fine. Now, when you have to receive 10,000, in these 10,000, assume that a non-recoverable is how much? 5,000 is also there. But what you are doing is that this is the risk, is it right? This is the risk. You are showing it 10,000, is it right? You are not showing it. You have to show how much? You have to show 10,000 minus 5. You have to show only how much? 5,000. Is it right? Other things are very, very differently. Is that we are not talking about going concern. Going concern means what is that, whether we can continue in the next period or not. Is it right? We are not talking about not valid debts. Valid, see, whether debt is valid, that's all. You have to receive. As simple as that. Is it right? As simple. There are balances due from customers which are not being included in the financial statement. We cannot omit it, okay? We cannot omit it and say that, yes, these balances are not going to be part of the. We cannot do that. As simple as that. Is it right? We cannot. What we have to do? If you are including the balances, we should make it a point that how much we are going to expect to receive and what is the estimated provision. That is what the financial balance, current assets, debtors, receivables, we do. Is it right? This is very, very critical. See, you have not done financial reporting F7. Is it right? When you have not done financial reporting, focus on little bit on financial reporting. Because when they give you, these concepts are based on the financial reporting as such. Which two of the following procedures are relevant responses to the risk? Is it, pardon?
Can you please repeat again the previous question?
See, what they are asking, what is the key concern? Is it right? What is the key concern regarding the risk? Related to if you extend credit terms and people are not willing to pay, is it right? If you extend the credit terms, what will happen? Sales will increase. Is it right? Now, if sales are increasing, what will happen? The receivables will also increases. This is the risk. Is it right? This is the risk. Now, receivables are increasing. Receivable days are also increasing. This is another risk. It has been increased to 49 to how many days? 49 to 127 days. Is that it has increased to how much? 49 to 127 days. Gone over? Now, what happening? The customers are not paying. Is it? The customers are not paying. Is it? If the customers are not paying, what will happen? Again, the risk will increase. Is it right? If the customers are not, what is the key concern related to extended credit? Extended credit is nothing but it is not related to going concern. Going concern is nothing but the recovery of cash. Is it right? Recovery of cash. If you are applying for a loan and you are not getting a loan, then it is a going concern. Is it right? It is a going concern. The regulations has been changed. It is a going concern issue. Is it? It is not at all a going concern. Financial statements include amount due from credit customers which are not valid debts. We are not talking about the loans. We are talking about the receivables. We are talking about two things. One is extended credit and one is refusal of certain customers to pay. Is it right? Extended credit. Now, there are balances due from credit customers which are not being included in the financial statement. That is, see, if you are not including in the financial statement, that will never happen. Is it right? You have to include in the financial statements at any cost. Later on, what happens? That is the point of discussion. Is that later what will happen? That is the point of discussion. But at this point of time, we have to be very specific of inclusion. You include it, but make a provision. The last point says this. What you have to include? This is the risk. Is it right? Is it right? What is the risk? You are including the customer's amount, but that amount we are going to recover? No, we are not going to recover that. Is it right? Means we are showing it how much? We are showing 10,000. We are showing receivables are how much? 10,000. But out of these 10,000, is it right? 10,000 is 5,000 not receiving. Is it right? Means now this is the thing. This is rule 1. Is it right? This is related to risk related to what? Risk related to rule 1. And this is risk related to what? Risk related to rule 2. This is rule 1 and this is rule 2. Are you clear, Faiza?
Yes.
Little bit, okay? I know.
Okay, Mr. So the key concern
Yes.
regarding the risk related to the extended credit terms. So we have to choose the answer which shows there is a risk.
Yes.
Okay.
Which show there is a see. Is it? Which show there is a risk. Is it? See, find where is which concept it has a. If you see, this is basically an accounting rule. Is it right? We are talking in terms of what? We are talking in terms of a realization concept. Unless the money is not received, we cannot treat money as money. As simple as that. Is that you have given 1,000 reals to your friend. Unless you don't get 1,000 reals back in your hands, there is a risk. Is that there is a risk? That is a key concern. Key concern is you cannot say that yes, I am having 1,000 reals as such. Is that 1,000 reals you are having? But it should be there in your hands. If it is not in your hands, it is a key concern. Is it okay?
Yes.
Which two of the following audit procedures are relevant response to the risk that inventory quantities are misstated by the new computerized systems? Tell me which is the answer. 2.
The first one.
Review a sample of purchase requisitions to determine whether the quantity held by inventory system was verified before the requisition was approved. Next.
Last one, test the operation of the inventory system.
Test the operations of inventory system. Anything else?
The second option.
What external auditor will do? Procedures. Is it right? When you are talking about the procedures, make it a point. Is it right? Review a sample of purchase requisitions to determine whether the quantity inventory held by the inventory was verified before the requisition. This is the procedure, this is the process. Is it right? Fine. Only process. Determine, we are not fixing. This is not, see, we are not fixing. Determine how often inventory counts are performed. Is it right? Determine means fix how much and the level of corrections required. We are fixing the things. It is not a procedure. We are giving the instructions. Is that determination is nothing but we are letting that this system has to be like this. It is not a procedure. Is it right? Review sales price of inventory sold after the year end. Is it right? This will be where? When you say year end, which assertion we will take? Any idea?
Cut off.
Cut off. Exactly. Amazing. You people will pass. You see, you need only some support. That's all. Inshallah. Is it right? I am expecting. The moment I will say is that this is a cut off year end. Is it right? To identify inventory. See what we are doing. We are reviewing. What you are doing? We are reviewing. Reviewing is a audit procedure. Test. There's the operation of the inventory system. You don't have like anything like this, is it right? Test the operating system or using the CAD no. Is it right? This is not a procedure. You are testing. No, see, we will not test. Is it right? We will not check. Is it right? We will not use these words anywhere. Is it right? You will not check. You will not test. Okay? We will review. We will inspect. Is it right? We will re-perform. We will recalculate. This is the procedures. Is that you will observe? Is it right? You will observe. What is the moment you say procedures? Is that what is the procedures? To inspect, it is the procedure. Is it right? To review, it is a procedure. To observe, it is the procedure. Is it right? To re-perform, it is the procedure. Is it right? To recalculate, it is the procedure. Anything else? My memory is over.
Verify.
To verify. Anything else?
Evaluate.
Huh?
Evaluate.
Get confirmation.
Huh?
Get confirmation.
Yes. Confirmation. Why I am writing? Only to make sure that you will remember, okay? Only to make sure that I am having little doubt here, okay? To assure, is it right? To ensure, not assure, to ensure. Is it right? I am having little doubt. I am saying very simply. Where I am having doubt, I am having doubt. Huh?
Inquiries.
Inquiry, good. Is it okay? Now this is, see, this is, if you work out on these areas now, definitely it will add. See, every class will have 2 to 3 marks. You will add value. Minimum, I'm saying minimum 3 to 4 marks. Is it right? There, fine. Is it okay? We will do this. By the time we do this, Maghrib, the Adhan will come. I will stop. Khalas. Okay. Fine. It is also, see, they are mentioning, see the thing. This is all now. This is all examination problems. Is it right? This is all examination problems. You study concept, you study PowerPoint, do examinations. I will explain you PowerPoint, do examination. You follow this, next month you follow these rules. See the difference you will have. You are an audit senior of TS here and are responsible for planning the audit of UKERA for the year ended. UKERA is a charity, is it right? Which is established over 5 years ago. If we are coming something new items, I will explain. Don't worry about that. The charity aim is to provide support to children from disadvantaged backgrounds. Fine. This is what, see now you are seeing this. What is the? This is the understanding of entity. See, people, what, see, the mistake is very simple. What is the, is that this is theoretical subject, first, right? And you should know the mechanics. Mechanically, you have to work it out. Yes, how to approach it. Is it right? Is it that's the way people will lag. Is it right? And automatically, what will happen? They think that yes, we are doing this paper. First time they will do this. This is very, see, you should not take. This paper is not the one which people has to take first time. Very simple, very simple. Is it right? This is, you need vocabulary, you need financial reporting, you need the auditing terminology. Is it right? You need so many things, and this is theoretical paper. Is it right? With applications. And people will take this, the problem with respect to students is, they will take this paper, first time they are unsuccessful, they will get demotivated and they will just drop the things. Okay, so you take it, but you should have very, very structural approach is there. Bismillah, it will be done. Is that understanding the entity. Eureka has a detailed constitution which explains that charity income can be spent. The constitution also notes that expenditure related to administration of charity cannot exceed 10% of the charity income in any year. Means you should not, expenditure should not be more than 10%. That is the rule. Eureka currently employs 3 permanent members staff. At present, there are 100 volunteers are there. Some are commit to about 3 days a week, and others on the ad hoc. Ad hoc means temporary basis. The organization includes a finance department primarily run on the volunteers. The charity income is derived wholly from the donations. Sources of donations include in the public in the form of cash collected in buckets. Is it right? By volunteers in shopping areas and from the generous individuals. Is that fine? Means there is a charity organization, they are collecting in buckets, means in cash, by hand. Okay, that is one of the deficiencies. Okay. Based on your understanding of UKERA, you have to identify that income received primarily in the form of cash, and this will affect audit risk. Is it? Audit risk is what? Audit risk is nothing but you will have the inherent risk you have the control risk, you have the detection risk. You have the sampling risk and you have the non-sampling risk. Fine? Okay? Now, by clicking the relevant boxes, again, every option will have 0.5 marks. Okay? 0.5 marks. Detection risk will increase due to increased risk of cash donations being misappropriate and revenue being overstated. Detection risk, see, detection risk is what? Sampling risk, is it right? Sampling risk and non-sampling risk. Is it right?
Yes.
Detection risk is nothing but sampling risk and non-sampling risk. Is it right? It is true and false. Detection risk will increase due to increased risk of cash donations.
True.
Detection risk will increase due to increased risk of cash donation. Cash donations are increasing, is it right? Cash donations are increasing. When cash donations are increasing, is it right? See, when cash donations are increasing, see, we have to identify which type of risk it is there. Is that we have to identify, if you say true, fine. If you say false, why it is false? Is it right? Detection risk, you see, when you are having cash collections, is it right? When you have cash collections, what happens? A, B, C, D. Is it right? Everybody will have this. Is it right? Now, when you have the things, what's happening with A, what happening B, what's happening C, what happening D, we don't know. You increase the sample size. Is it right? You increase the sample size. But what will happen if you are not including it in the amount? We cannot identify the risk. Is it right? We cannot identify the risk as such. If you are having cash collections, is it right? If you are having cash collections, what we have to do? We have to minimize the risk at the most appropriate level. If there is a cash collection risk, something happens here. A is not, he is doing a fraud. Is it right? A is fraud. The risk is not with the individual. The risk is with the system. Is that built in? The risk is with the built-in system. When the risk is with built-in system, this type of risk is called as inherent risk. System is like this. System says that why you are allowing people to collect cash. First point. And you are collecting cash in an open. Is that you are collecting cash in an open bucket. When you are collecting cash in an open bucket, somebody will take 500 riyals. Fine, okay. What will happen? You don't have any count. Is it right? Even you have a sampling risk, you have a control risk. Is it right? You don't have any control risk. Is it right? The risk is in the system. If the risk is in the system, this is going to be identified as a inherent risk, and this is false.
Mr. Can you please repeat again?
See now, what is the control risk? Control risk means you don't have the review, you don't have the verification. Is it right? You don't have any approvals, nothing is there. Fine. Now what happening? See, we three people are there. We are collecting cash in the buckets. Is it right? Now there is no system is like this. Is it right? Why the organization is asking permission, giving permission to collect cash? First, they should not give that permission to collect cash in the open open buckets. Is it right? Now, when you are given that, is it right? When you are given that, the risk is in the system, the risk is in the process. Is it right? The risk is not with respect to controls. Is it right? The risk is not with respect to the detection. The risk is not with respect to the sampling. Is it right? The risk is with the system. The system says this is the procedure. If any fault at the system, it is an inherent risk. And collecting cash from the customers in an open way is an inherent risk. Okay?
Yes, now it's clear.
It's not. Little bit. Okay? Again, you just review it, even if there are so many instances you will come across. Inherent risk will increase as the nature of transactions mean that income may be misstated either in error or deliberately. I have collected 10,000. Is it right? I will show only 9,000. Is it right? I will show only 9,000. I will not show 10,000. Means what happens? I can misstate either in terms of error or I will do it deliberately. If I am doing intentionally, deliberately, and or I am doing an error, is it right? It is the built-in. It is the inherent risk. It is related to me. Is it right? It is related to me exclusively. I am doing it exclusively like this. Is it right? Then it is going to be called as an inherent risk. Control risk will increase as internal controls may be weak due to large number of volunteers used by ACCA. What is the definition of control risk? Any idea?
It is the risk which is the client controls cannot detect or prevent the misstatement.
Is it the example of control risk?
Yes, true.
Control risk will increase as internal controls may be weak due to what? Due to large number of volunteers. Is it not large number of volunteers? Is it right? It is large number of transactions. Is it right? When there is a transactions, is it right? When there is a transaction, large number of transactions, there will be a material misstatements. Volunteers is not the thing, is it right? Volunteers are no way related. Volunteers is not material, is it right? Volunteers do the thing. If it is weak due to large number of transactions, when you have the large number of transactions, definitely if internal controls are weak and large number of transactions are there, then it will be difficult for the organization to prevent or detect any material misstatements. Is it right? See, this word is changing the entire answer. We are not talking about never we talk about the people. We are talking about only material misstatements. Because of transactions, impact will be there. Is it? Because of transactions, the impact will be on material misstatements, not because of volunteers. Is it okay?
Yes, clear.
Is it? Business risk will increase due to level of volunteers. Is it true? Volunteers are internal. Okay. Business risk is external. Is it right? Business risk is external. Is that somewhere we have discussed this? They have sold the products and products are lot of defective items. Is that products have lot of defective items and they have returned the products. That is the business risk. Is it right? We have discussed somewhere, I think so. There is a wrong promotional policies. That is the business risk. Is it right? But business risk is not related to the level of volunteers or internal of the organization. Business risk is the external of the organization. The answer is tell me. The answer is
False.
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 Fine. If you want me to continue, I will continue. If you want me to stop, I will stop.
Continue, sir.
Continue, sir.
Fine. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. You are finding interesting. That is the motivation. Is it right? Next. Your audit partner has highlighted to you that it is imperative that TS companies act with ISA 315, the risk of the material misstatements, through understanding the entity and environment. Is it right? Fine. Through understanding, and this means that it must identify and assess the risk of material statements of both financial statements level and at the assertion level, the classes of transactions, events and their related disclosures. Is it right? And account balances of the means they are talking about that they want to identify and assess the risk related to material misstatements at all levels. Is it financial statement levels, assertions levels, disclosure levels, accounting balance levels, all those things. Is it right? Indicate which of the following statements gives a true explanation of ISA 315. Is it right? Which gives a true explanation about what? ISA 315. Is it right? ISA 315. Requires a risk assessment of what? Requires a risk assessment of to be carried out in the planning stage as such. Fine. Now, the risk assessment, fine, the risk assessment will help the audit will help the audit team gain an understanding of the entity for an audit purpose. True and false? The risk assessment will help the audit team gain an understanding of entity and audit purpose. True.
True.
It will give you a understanding about the thing. The risk assessment will enable the audit senior to produce an accurate budget for audit engagement. Is it true or false?
False.
We cannot have an accurate budget, okay? There is nothing like an accurate budget. It is false. The risk assessment will form the basis of the audit strategy and the audit plan.
True.
True. Once the risk has been assessed, they can select audit team members with sufficient skills and experience to maximize the chance of those risks being addressed.
True.
True. You have identified several audit risks which you feel your team will need to address. One such risk related the risk that income may not be understated in the financial statements. Income, is it that one of the risks? Underline this. Is it relates to what? Income may be understated in the financial statement. You are concerned that not all income may be recorded. You are concerned that not all income is recorded. Which of the following is not a valid response? First means you have to make sure that which is the valid response. Following is not. Is it right?
The first one.
First option.
You will say first, I will read second, third, fourth also, okay? Perform analytical procedures. Which is not a valid response. This is the analytical procedure, is it right? This is the analytical procedure. Review the internal controls relating to cash collected in budget to determine whether buckets are sequentially numbered and signed out. This is the valid, is it right? This is the valid response. We are doing the procedure. Observe the counting and recording of proceeds from collection to determine whether appropriate segregation of duties are present. This is the valid response. Perform analytical procedures on the level of donations. This is fine, valid. Why it is not valid? Obtain a breakdown of the income recorded from the cash that was collected in the buckets and vouch a sample of entries back to the voluntary in order to determine which voluntary collected. Means you hear what's happening. You are not see you are verifying internally only. Is it right? We are verifying internally only. It doesn't make any sense. We are not going to be in this case. In this case, the risk cannot be stated. Okay. What we are doing, we are obtaining breakdown income recorded from the cash collected from the buckets, watch a sample of entries to the voluntary, again internally, and determine which voluntary collect which donations. This is not valid. Good, alhamdulillah. Is right? That's But listen, you have to know, you have to make sure that read all responses. Okay, I know by practice your speed will increase. Is it right? Now practice your speed will increase, but you have to be very careful. Okay, next. Another identify audit risk is the susceptibility of UKERA's business to fraud due to high level of cash involved. Use the drop-down list to complete the following sentence to correct. Describe the response. Auditor's responsibility with respect to 1 to 40. The response relating to fraud. And the auditor is not responsible for the. Tell me the answer. For which they are not responsible and for which they are responsible.
Prevention or detection?
One only. How can we can do two? One only.
Detection.
Auditor will detect, is responsible to detect. Your job is to detect. Is it right? Your job is not to prevent. This is the job, prevent job. Whose job it is? This is the job of the management. Is it right? This is the job of the management. The auditor is not responsible for prevention, and they are responsible for obtaining
reasonable assurance.
Alhamdulillah. The moment I find two now, I find it very challenging. That's very important. Okay, for me, I think that is the way I think like that. The audit manager has noted in the detailed audit plan that UKERA control environment may be weak. Which two of the following are valid reasons as to why UKERA may have a weak control environment? Tell me.
Finance department relies on volunteers who may not have account experience.
Exactly.
High portion of the income of is a cash.
High portion of income of UKERA in cash. Apart from that,
Maybe D.
maybe
D.
no, maybe. Tell me one. Tell me one. Understand the thing. A high proportion of income of UKERA in cash, is it right? It's not a weak environment, is it right? Weak environment is environment. They are talking about what? We are depending on the volunteers. Is it? Now, understaffing of the finance department. Certain times. They are depending on what? They are depending on temporary staff. Is it? They are depending on the temporary staff. If it is like this, it is called as a weak control environment. Is it right? Is it? Detailed constitution is not a weak. High portion of income is not and it's not an environment, it is a rule. Okay? It is a fact. Whereas understaffing a finance department, certain times it's very weak. Okay, it's very weak. Is it clear?
Yes, clear.
Fine.
Enough for today.
Alhamdulillah. Just revise it, okay? Next Saturday, see, Alhamdulillah, you are putting this much effort. Is it right? I really appreciate. Is that? I'm just working on this. Next Saturday, we will work it on. See, we will work it on the